Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with my action figure review of WWE Not Really All That Extreme Rules. Danny managed to hold on to the undisputed Pickle Championship, but only via Champion's Advantage after tying both Jen and Alex. As for the pay-per-view, it had some decent action and was looking fine until they totally botched the ending. We'll get into that in a minute, but first, if you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more pro wrestling and action figure content. Now, we're headed into my custom arena, so for a recap and review, let's take it over to the action figures. Apparently, Liv Morgan vs. Carmella was moved to the kickoff show, which I missed. However, after Carmella continued saying she's hotter, Liv won with the Oblivion. The main show opened with an unannounced tag match as AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley take on the New Day. This was a lot of fun and got a fair amount of time, but in the end, miscommunication spells doom for the heels as AJ eats a spear and Lashley eats a big ending for the New Day victory. In a promo later on, Lashley challenges Big E for the title on Raw tomorrow night. In another promo, Big E accepts. The Usos defend the Smackdown Tag Team titles against the Street Profits. There's a great near fall where Montez Ford hits one of his trademark frog splashes, but it's broken up. Once Angelo Dawkins is taken out, the Usos nail Montez with 2 super kicks and a double Uso splash to retain. Next, Charlotte Flair defends her Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. At one point, Alexa nails Charlotte with an awesome looking sunset flip, but she can't keep the Queen down long enough to hit the Twisted Bliss. Charlotte uses Lily as a distraction before hitting Natural Selection for the win. Afterwards, she rips Lily apart and throws the stuffing around the ring. Alexa cradles Lily's remains and then appears to foam at the mouth as her hometown crowd strangely chants, "Thank you, Lily." This was weird. In a match that was made a triple threat for no reason, Damian Priest defends the United States Championship against Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. We've seen these guys fight a million times, so you already know what you're getting with them. But when Sheamus hits Jeff Hardy with a brogue kick, he gets rolled up by Damian Priest for the cheap win. Simon Miller's right, that really is the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. The SmackDown Women's Championship is also on the line as Becky Lynch defends against Bianca Belair. This was arguably the match of the night, with multiple spots that showed off Bianca's ridiculous strength. But just when it looks like Bianca's about to win, Sasha Banks runs out and causes the DQ, apparently in retaliation for being denied her title shot back at SummerSlam. She beats down the other women, but it's not their fault she wasn't able to compete. Why is she mad at them? In the main event, the undefeated Demon takes on Roman Reigns for his Universal Championship. Now, I love Finn Balor. He's probably my favorite WWE guy, and the Demon entrance is my favorite in all of wrestling. But the metal spike mohawk he was sporting here just didn't work, and that's coming from a guy with a mohawk. The match itself was a battle of Roman's power and strength versus the Demon's technical skill and aggression. In order to justify the Extreme Rules stipulation, they had a funny spot where Reigns gets a kendo stick only for Balor to pull out a quadruple version. After chanting for tables all night, the crowd pops when Balor finally pulls one out, but he gets punched by Roman, who slides the table back under the ring to chorus of boos. Thankfully, Roman does wind up putting the Demon through a table later in the match. Paul Heyman gives Roman a mask before he heads into the crowd, which is not only good modeling for impressionable youth, but also shows that even the tribal chief is mortal in the face of a global pandemic. So do as Roman does, kids, wear your mask and get vaccinated if you're eligible. The Usos interfere, but the Demon manages to fight back before getting speared through a barricade, leaving everyone laid out. That's when things get really stupid. The lights turn red, and the demon heartbeat sounds as Finn begins convulsing on the floor. His theme music continues playing while Balor springs to his feet, throws Roman back in the ring, hits a sling blade, and sets up his finishing combo. But when he heads to the top rope for a coup de grace, the turnbuckle breaks under him. Yup, Finn falls down clutching his leg, gets hit with a spear, and loses for the first time on the main roster. Let's just say the peasants did not rejoice. Hilariously, Paul Heyman follows Roman up the ramp with the championship belt held upside down as we fade to black. It's time for everyone's favorite game, comparing AEW and WWE. This week saw both companies book themselves into a corner, only to get out of it in two completely different ways. AEW had their world champion Kenny Omega face the debuting Bryan Danielson. They chose to go with a time limit draw, protecting both men and leaving fans clamoring for a rematch on pay-per-view. On the other hand, WWE had their dominant champion Roman Reigns face an undefeated and beloved demon character. They chose to go with a ring malfunction and the implication that God interfered on behalf of the heel. That left both men looking worse, and from what I've seen online, led to significant fan backlash. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions about which approach was better. As for the rest of the card, zero build and indecisive finishes made for one of the worst pay-per-views of the year. Between Damian Priest's roll-up victory, the Sasha Banks DQ, and that terrible ending, it's hard to find anything redeeming about this show. I'm just glad AEW exists, so we finally have an alternative to this bullshit. Alright, that'll do it for WWE Extreme Rules. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'll be back on Thursday with my review of Dynamite, and maybe later this week with a brand new figure hunt from RetroCon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my latest unboxing video, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.